My name is Pete Grant. I'm the Director of Digital and Multimedia Services at the Center for Academic Technology Support. I've been working at CATS since about 2003. One of my passions is bringing in students, and a lot of students coming in these days, they may not have those personal or professional skills for the real world. They may not have multimedia skills. They're going to leave EIU, they're going to graduate, and they're going to need to compete for positions and careers. And I feel like giving them real world experiences through multimedia projects is going to make them stand above their competitors when they're competing for a job. And so my big philosophy here is, even though we are servicing the campus for primarily educational multimedia types of projects in the classroom, it's a wonderful opportunity to bring students in and give them real world opportunities, applied learning projects. And so personally and professionally, I have seen students leave out of here and get jobs that just blow me away. I see students working at places like Caterpillar, or they work at Target headquarters down in Austin, Texas. Some of them have went and worked for community colleges or universities, or they went and do their PhD program not long after and say, you know what, I didn't understand what you're doing, but it makes total sense now. If I had not worked with you in the Multimedia Center, I don't think I would be as prepared. And because of that experience, I beat out my competitors. So I think there's a lot of value personally and professionally working in an atmosphere like the CATS Multimedia Center for students. Because I believe so strongly in collegiality and camaraderie, teamwork, and really kind of the essence of family. When students come here, I want them to feel like they're part of the team. I want them to feel like they're able to contribute something. And so what I do is I train and teach my graduate assistants to act in the capacity of a manager. And as a manager, they are responsible for not just their projects, but for their teams. And I try to pass on the philosophy to them of mentoring. So mentoring is a huge part of what we do here. I don't want students just to come here and just work on a project, just to be a bunch of grunt project workers. I want them to feel like they're part of something. And so I pass that philosophy on to the graduate assistants, and so there's kind of this trickle-down effect. And a lot of times I've heard my students say how it feels like family to them. While I may be their supervisor, there's a lot of times where I feel like they need to talk. They need to talk about what's going on at school. They need to feel like they have a place of refuge to, when they're done with classes, they can come here and interact with their fellow peers, their students. And I know a lot of these students build just great relationships outside of work, and they become really good friends, and they keep in contact with each other. And I think that those friendships will be lasting once they leave the walls of EIU. Students are going to learn skills here that they may not have the opportunity to learn in the classroom. In the classroom, you're getting a lot of theory, but you don't necessarily have the ability to apply that theory. And as a campus-based service, with the number of projects that we have per year, students on a weekly basis are able to apply what they're learning in the classroom in the real world, because I consider this a real-world application of multimedia service, serving a campus of over probably 1,300 people. So they're getting exposed to a lot of projects, getting their hands dirty. But the other thing that it does is they're working in a real team out atmosphere. They're working with a number of different people with different skills. They're working for, in the case of a GA, they get to lead a team, so they're acting as a real manager. And a lot of times when a student goes out and they're applying for a job, especially with a master's degree, they want to know, do you have management experience? And a lot of my GAs can all say, yes, we have management experience. And so I find that that's really valuable. But they also have experience being mentors, managing projects, working with campus clients. Those are all very valuable things for a grad assistant. For students, just being able to shoot a video, edit a video, work with a team, it prepares them for their next phase in life. They've been mentored by graduate assistants and by myself to kind of know what to expect when they go out into the real world, because I don't pull any punches. I tell them exactly what they need to know for the most part, when they go out into the real world, and what sort of expectations that employers are going to have for them. The most rewarding part about working in the CATS Multimedia Center has to be working with the students. I'm a firm believer in the idea of applied learning and mentoring. And therefore, it's not just about making sure that I get projects done for the campus. It's also about showing the next generations of students coming through here a skill, but also life philosophy. And that's what I think mentoring and applied learning are all about. So, you know, I've had well over 100 students work for me in the past 12 or 13 years. The greatest thing that I've ever seen come as a result of them working for me, especially after the advent of the Multimedia Center in 2009, is hearing back from them and saying, you know, what I learned in the Multimedia Center helped to make me successful in my next phase of life. If it hadn't been for that experience, I don't know if I would have been able to compete in the real world getting a career. And so when you hear back from those kind of students, it gives me a sense of joy and a real sense of purpose.